Welcome back to The Historian. Tonight, we look at seas of glass, the shattered trade routes of the crystal empires. In a time long before ships carried spices across the waves of the globe, there rose empires unlike any other, empires not built on gold or silver, but on the shimmering allure of crystal. These were the crystal empires, whose people mastered the art of creating and trading exquisite glass long before others imagined its beauty. An era dawned when sunlight refracted through meticulously crafted glassworks, casting colorful rainbows in homes and marketplaces alike. Stretching back to around 2500 BC, the beginnings of glassmaking can be traced to the ancient lands straddling the Near East and Egypt. Here, amidst arid deserts and fertile riverbanks, civilizations began to harness naturally occurring materials like sand, which, when mixed with soda and lime and subjected to intense heat, transformed the ordinary into the extraordinary. In Egypt, artisans learned to shape this molten substance into elegant beads and amulets. The vibrant colors of copper, cobalt, and manganese became symbols of wealth and mystery. Each piece, imbued with meaning, was a testament to craftsmanship that required not only precision, but an intrinsic knowledge of nature's secrets. Nearby, the Mesopotamians, masters of early innovation, sculpted glass into intricate vases and cups. They fashioned these items with such finesse that they could rival the finest works of pottery. What set their glass apart was the astonishing skill required to cool the glass down without shattering it, a delicate dance with time and temperature. These sparkling creations gave rise to extensive trade networks. Picture caravan routes stretching across the deserts, laden with delicate cargo packed carefully to withstand the journey's hard knocks. The camels' rhythmic strides were punctuated by the tinkling of glass goods, withstanding the relentless desert winds. As night fell, these routes illuminated with a soft glow from the beads that twinkled under the stars, a testament to the beauty that came from human ingenuity. The Phoenicians, crafting seafarers of the Mediterranean, soon adopted and adapted these early techniques. Situated along the coastline of what is now Lebanon, they became instrumental in the expansion of glass trade. With the sea as their highway, they spread the influence of the crystal empires far beyond the horizon that their ancestors knew. Phoenician trade ventures led to the establishment of distant colonies, from the fertile lands of North Africa to the rocky coasts of southern Europe. In these new areas, they sowed the seeds of glassmaking, enriching other cultures while continuously expanding their view. Their ships, filled with vibrant glass, swayed on the ocean currents, each piece a thread linking diverse civilizations. The Greeks and then the Romans embraced the beauty and utility of glass. To them, it was more than a craft. It was an art form that adorned everything from homes to temples. The Romans, renowned for their innovation, introduced glassblowing, a technique that revolutionized production, allowing for the creation of larger, more varied, and more intricate glass items. The crystal empires, through their luminescent trade wares, provided a unique lens, both literal and metaphorical, into an ancient world connected not by conquest, but by commerce and creativity. The enduring appeal of glass, unbroken across millennia, showcased the power of beauty and craft to transcend the boundaries of kingdoms and the confines of emperors' ambitions. As the sun set over these splendid realms, leaving behind a glow cast upon the glass artifacts traded across continents, the crystal empires laid down paths that would shape future generations. Just as the Merovingian path would later pave the way for Charlemagne's Carolingian era, here the seeds of intercontinental connections were sown, awaiting times when winds and waters would carry stories written not just in crystal, but in the cultures they touched. And so, we tread quietly away from these radiant beginnings, towards an era where glass would continue to illuminate pathways, both literally and figuratively, across the ancient world. A journey where innovation and geography, like finely etched patterns, would craft the enduring legacy of these early artisans and traders. Let the echoes of their craft guide us toward the unfurling stories of those who followed in their luminous footsteps. Across the vast stretches of time, as ancient civilizations flourished and faded, one singular element remained constant: the allure of glass and its power to connect people across vast distances. As we step further into the story of these enchanting artifacts, we embark on an exploration of the intricate sea routes that formed the backbone of the Crystal Empire's trade networks, known as the glass sea routes. These sea routes were not merely lines on a map. They were the result of careful planning and courageous exploration. Fashioned by the relentless pursuit of light and beauty, these passages enabled a burgeoning exchange of goods and ideas. As the winds filled the sails of eager merchants' vessels, they carried with them precious cargoes of glassware, illuminating the horizons of distant lands. By 1000 BC, the Mediterranean Sea had become a bustling marine thoroughfare, a vast expanse connecting numerous civilizations. Crafty merchants, recognizing the wealth glass trade brought, eagerly took to the waters. Thus, the formation of these routes marked a milestone in ancient commerce. Strategic coastal towns and bustling port cities rose in response to the growing demand for glass. Along these shores, vibrant marketplaces thrived, bustling with exchange, as traders weighed their goods against the brilliance of colored glass. Notable among these ports was the Phoenician city of Tyre, renowned for its skilled shipbuilders and daring sailors. From this hub, Phoenician ships ventured outward, touching the coastlines of present-day Spain, France, and even the British Isles. Equipped with the latest navigational techniques of their time, these mariners bravely navigated the waters, guided by the stars above and the allure of commerce ahead. The volatile waves of the Mediterranean were not solely conquered by Phoenicians. Greek sailors also played a formidable role, skillfully tacking the shifts in wind and current. Their passage, from the Aegean Sea through the perilous straits, led them to new trade partners hungry for the intrinsic beauty and unique properties of glass. Each journey over these sea routes was an adventure of its own, fraught with both risk and reward. The challenges of navigating open waters with precious cargo underlined the immense value of glass. Insurance in any true sense didn't exist, so the loss of a ship meant a significant setback. Yet the potential profit was often too great to resist, with glass beads and trinkets fetching high prices and enjoyed by all levels of society. Where previously, trade might have been bounded by land routes fraught with bandits and taxing terrain, the nautical pathways opened new vistas. Enhanced by new mathematical calculations and maps marking safe harbors and dangerous reefs, navigation became more precise and thus more reliant. Glassmaking techniques spread from shore to shore, increasing the complexity and beauty of the items being exchanged. This, in turn, strengthened economic ties between regions. With time, Roman engineers joined these trade circuits, repurposing and improving technologies they encountered. Craftsmanship expanded as the Romans introduced advanced techniques that allowed glass products to reach new forms and functions, significantly altering the market dynamics. Their influence, profound and far-reaching, crystallized in the seamless glass vessels that adorned homes and public buildings alike. As these routes evolved, glass became more than a commodity. It was a symbol of connectivity and shared enterprise. It enabled separate cultures to intermingle, sharing not just products but culture and tradition along the shimmering paths that snaked through the seas. As if each ship bore an ambassador, the routes they sailed were bridges in an ancient global community. Thus, on the tide of ancient maritime ingenuity, goods once isolated among distant civilizations could now travel widely, carried upon the winds and waves that understood no borders. Each piece, meticulously crafted and transported across these maritime routes, spoke of a world bound not just by the allure of trade, but by the human desire to explore, connect, and create. The journey continues as we look forward to the next chapter, where tales of such transport intertwine with the fabric of future empires, expanding territorial ambitions and the promise of the crystal empires. In the heart of ancient trade, the innovation that revolutionized glassmaking came about not abruptly, but through a gradual process of experimentation and necessity. As civilization sought to learn more efficient ways to produce goods, the ancient artisans found themselves at the cusp of monumental achievements. This leap forward occurred during a time where raw materials, technological advances, and human ingenuity converged to reshape an entire industry. The Roman Empire, already renowned for its craftsmanship, began to refine the art of glassblowing, a technique adopted from their predecessors but perfected through their pursuit of efficiency. Glassblowing, as we know it, became a mainstay by which glass could be shaped swiftly and with more intricate designs than previously possible. This advancement allowed for the mass production of glass items that once were limited to the affluent, democratizing luxury and bringing beauty into the homes of many more. This newfound ability to produce an array of glasswares, from delicate vases to robust storage jars, opened avenues not just of aesthetic diversification, but of practical applications. Glass was favored for its utility, becoming ubiquitous in households for its ability to hold liquid without leaching flavors or odors, an invaluable trait recognized early by savvy traders and householders alike. With innovations in glassblowing, artisans could create lighter, thinner, yet more resilient objects. This boon for trade not only enhanced the durability of transported goods, cushioning them against the rigors of long journeys across uneven terrains and turbulent seas, but also amplified the variety and appeal of glass items available to traders. As glassblowing technology spread alongside the knowledge of its technique, small workshops popped up along key trade routes, including those around the bustling centers of Alexandria and Rome. Here, artisans were pivotal in refining the craft, mixing ingredients for clarity and color that were both fashionable and functional. Their handiwork resulted in a spectrum of glass products that glittered with the brilliance of innovation. As these glassmakers honed their skills, the demand for their luminous creations grew. The once exclusive allure became a staple across different societies, and trade markets flourished in response. At bustling ports such as Brindisi on the Italian coast, goods loaded with glass gave way to a bustling exchange of commodities. If you are finding peace in these archives, remember to subscribe to join us on the next journey. The pillars of this trade expanded further into regions that welcomed such advancements. In time, these networks became so sophisticated that specialized glass vessels were designed for particular goods like oils and perfumes. Each carefully crafted piece indicated the lengths to which these artisans stretched their capabilities to meet growing demands. The cultural implications of these innovations were significant, too. In some ways, the trade of glass became a catalyst for cultural exchanges, as traders not only bartered their commodities, but also shared stories, thoughts, and technologies with distant lands from which they sailed. Thus, a simple glass jar or ornate goblet became a silent witness to the breadth of human interaction and creativity. Throughout this era, the role of glass and its trade elevated societies, transforming them beyond isolated domains into connected networks of wealth and influence. As we watch these shining artifacts tell their stories of innovation, one cannot help but anticipate how their legacy would weave into the pathways of future empires, where the quest for progress would continue to drive human achievement and interconnectedness. Beyond the immediate value of their wares, the artifacts held a value less tangible, yet deeply ingrained, representing the ongoing march of human progress across the ancient world. Glass plays a unique role in the story of human history, serving as a catalyst for connections that spanned early societies. Long before the vast trade routes that would later link empires, the interaction with glass among these societies laid early foundations. By focusing on these interactions, we can better understand the ripple effects on culture and commerce across regions. From as early as 2500 BC, glassmaking was more than just the domain of Egyptian or Mesopotamian artisans. In Anatolia, ancient craftsmen worked to perfect their own glass compositions. They experimented meticulously with different minerals to produce colors ranging from deep amber to a light blue. Here, glass assumed an even more symbolic role, often used in religious shrines where its ethereal qualities enhanced the divine ambience. On the Greek mainland and its surrounding islands, glass firmly planted its roots within cultural practices. Artifacts found in Mycenaean tombs show a fascination with glass beads in small containers. To the Mycenaeans, these objects were not mere articles of beauty, but instead offerings to their gods. Each bead or vessel told of the rich and intricate beliefs this civilization held. As mystifying as the material itself, glass even accompanied elite members into the afterlife, suggesting its importance transcended earthly existence. These early societies, though diverse in culture and geography, displayed a shared understanding of glass's value. A vivid example lies in the trade conducted across the Aegean Sea, where Cretan Minoans traded glass alongside finely crafted pottery. Through these exchanges, glass became a medium through which ideas and techniques flowed freely between lands. In the great city-states of the Indus Valley, archaeological digs reveal glass use in the thriving urban centers. Craftsmen here developed signature techniques that involved intricate inlay work. These ornaments, made with precision, straddled the line between utility and art, showcasing the dual nature of glass as both practical and ornamental. Meanwhile, in the Far East, the roots of glassmaking unfurled subtly. Although not as prevalent as in the Middle East or the Mediterranean, China began to see the introduction of glass as early as the late Zhou dynasty. It arrived through the Silk Road, subtly woven into the fabric of a culture that already relished jade and bronze. Here, glass would start to become a luxury reserved for the elite, hinting at the interchanges to come with Western societies. As early cities evolved into bustling hubs, glass transcended its initial artisanship roots. It became a fixture in daily life, from banquet tables to religious ceremonies. Its ability to capture and transform light gave it an enigmatic quality that resonated in spiritual and communal gatherings alike. The interactions with glass across these early societies did not occur in monolithic isolation. When Greek merchants and Persian traders met, glass was among the items exchanged. These interactions facilitated a gradual standardization of glass weights and measures, presaging the organized trade systems that would later dominate the known world. The glass trade networks in these formative years became precursors to larger, more organized routes. They set precedent for the innate human desire to craft, trade, and share. As these civilizations continued to develop their own unique takes on glassmaking, the early footprints of these interactions would leave a mark on cultures for centuries. So, as the sun sets on these ancient societies, we step forward into the next leg of our journey through time. The evolving uses of glass, from a mystical artifact to an everyday item, set the stage for broader exchanges. We will see how these early exchanges laid the groundwork for future empires to expand and innovate, bringing their luminous cargo into an ever-growing network of discovery and trade. As the morning mists lifted over the bustling ports of antiquity, ships prepared to set sail, their hulls laden with an astonishing diversity of glassware. This was the zenith of glass commerce, a time when the art of glassmaking had evolved into a flourishing industry pivotal to ancient economies. With its unique ability to transform light, glass was not only a utilitarian staple, but a symbol of artistic achievement. The story of this booming trade begins with the Roman Empire, which, at its height, had cultivated a vast network of trade alliances stretching across Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia. The Romans were avid consumers of glass, utilizing it in domestic settings and public architecture, prompting a surge in demand that echoed through the bustling workshops of the empire. These workshops, strategically located near the ports and trade routes of cities like Alexandria, became centers of innovation as artisans perfected their skills in response to the mounting market needs. Roman innovation brought about the development of clear glass, a marvel of its time that surpassed the cloudy transparency of earlier glass creations. This clarity improved the aesthetic appeal and functional use of glass, making it highly desirable for windows and containers. Thus, glass transitioned from being a precious commodity reserved for the elite to an accessible material for everyday use. This shift in accessibility was largely due to the sophisticated logistics infrastructure underpinning Roman trade. The empire's well-maintained roads and advanced shipping systems facilitated quick and reliable transportation of glass goods. Roman ships, designed with sleek hulls and durable sails, traversed the Mediterranean Sea with remarkable efficiency. The hubs of Rome, Alexandria, and Carthage thrived as vibrant nodes in this expansive network, where glass was bought and sold alongside spices, textiles, and other precious commodities. As glass commerce peaked, the flow of goods promoted a significant cultural and economic exchange across regions. With each transaction, new ideas and artistic styles were assimilated, enriching the cultures engaged in trade. In the bustling marketplaces of the Roman provinces, one could find a dazzling array of glassware, colorful mosaic tiles, delicate perfume bottles, and elaborately designed goblets. Each piece reflected not just the skill of its maker, but also the cultural influences absorbed along its journey. The zenith of glass commerce also marked a period of notable technological advancement, particularly in the art of glassblowing. Glassblowing allowed artisans to create thinner, more varied forms with ease, leading to higher production volumes and lower costs. With this, glass became an integral element of Roman architecture, used abundantly in public baths and villas to create impressive displays of opulence and leisure. Meanwhile, in distant China, the allure of glass reached the courts of emperors, where it was coveted as a foreign luxury. Here, glass imported along the Silk Road was crafted into fine vessels and decorative pieces, complementing the traditional jade and porcelain. This cross-cultural appeal underscored the wide-reaching influence of glass as it traversed borders and cultures. As the bustling trade routes continued to hum with activity, glass commerce reached far into the Germanic territories and as far north as the Scandinavian communities, where it was exchanged for furs and timber. Even the Celtic tribes of Britannia engaged in this exchange, eagerly incorporating glass into their own artistic traditions. The trade routes that facilitated this exchange were guarded stories, intricate pathways woven through seasons of mercantile enterprise. The cargo aboard these vessels was more than mere goods. It was a symbol of connectivity, a physical testament to the interdependence of ancient civilizations. As empires rose and fell, the enduring thread of glass commerce persisted, immortalizing a legacy of shared human achievement across oceans and epochs. Imagine a world where the horizon brims with sails, crafting the sea into a tapestry of voyages and vessels. The peak of maritime life during the Crystal Empires was such a time. Ships constructed by the finest craftsmen of the age, designed to navigate the open waters with an eye for both speed and durability, were the lifelines of these empires. These vessels, hewn from the sturdy woods of Lebanon and guided by the very stars, embodied human ingenuity and ambition in trading precious glass far across the seas. As the early morning sun reflected off shimmering waves, one could picture bustling harbors where wooden ships groaned under the weight of their luminous cargo. Here, the melody of hammers and the scent of tar filled the air, a place where the ocean met human ambition head-on, ready to chart new chapters in the annals of commerce. Mariners had to become architects of the sea, almost artisan-like in their craft. Just as a sculptor chisels stone to reveal a masterpiece, these builders layered wood, cleverly aligning the grains to withstand fierce storms and calm breezes alike. These ships were masterpieces, bequeathed with innovations that allowed for long voyages and the transport of valuable glass items to faraway Mediterranean markets. The lifelines connecting the Crystal Empires were these trade routes, complex veins through which the lifeblood of commerce flowed. Commanders of each ship were navigationally savvy, relying on celestial navigation to guide them across otherwise trackless waters. Stars acted as an enduring guide, Polaris at the heart of many a navigator's plan, and the early use of the wind rose, pointing sailors in directions known today as north, east, south, and west. On these journeys, the crews were composed of skilled sailors hailing from diverse ports of call. Comprised of Phoenicians, Greeks, and later Romans, their bonds formed not solely around labor, but through their shared connection to the viridescent glassworks gingerly cradled below deck. Each voyage was a testament to the unity of different cultures, a peaceful communion forged in the coiled ropes and flapping sails of the open sea. Trade routes became vibrant arteries linking cities such as Tyre, Sidon, and Carthage with far-flung destinations like Hispania and Britannia, and even the edges of the African continent. Each harbor marked a nexus for cultural exchange, bustling with people, ideas, spices, and glasswares. Through these ports, new methods of artistry and technologies traveled, enriching each stop along the way not only with material wealth but innovative thought. The rituals of maritime life, casting off at first light, reading the constellations, and confronting the mysterious deep, brought with them inherent risks. Sea voyages were perilous undertakings, prone to the whims of weather and the unknown treachery of the open water. Despite these challenges, the allure of wealth ensured an endless stream of intrepid travelers, eager for opportunity. Yet, for all its threats, the sea offered rewards. Uninterrupted by land borders, maritime trade quickly spread glassmaking skills to vastly different cultural spheres. Roman advances in glass technology, coupled with improvements in ship design, expanded this art form's reach beyond traditional bastions. The artifacts bore the markers of distant lands, intricate patterns from Egypt, vivid tints originating from Mesopotamia, and new forms emerging from Rome's relentless innovation. Commerce at the sea's peak was not just about the exchange of goods, it was about connecting disparate worlds. As glassmakers exchanged their work for ideas, cultures blending at ports gave rise to hybrid designs and fostered dialogues between strangers. These early hints of globalization built foundations for future networks of trade across seas and civilizations. And so, we turn to the gentle rocking of these ancient vessels, the sea under them stretching as far as ambition itself. As these ships fade into the expanse, imagine them bathed in twilight, silhouetted against a rising moon, a silent fleet on an endless journey, whispering the story of a world bound together by shards of brilliant glass. In the heart of ancient governance, the fortunes of the Crystal Empires were shaped by their rulers, wise and shrewd, who understood that the lustrous trade in glass needed not just innovation, but stability and foresight. Across time's vast expanse, the leadership within these empires laid down the framework of systems that maintained peace and encouraged prosperity, not through force, but through the nurturing of trade networks and technological collaboration. The stability underpinning these empires, akin to subtle sea currents, guiding the massive vessels of the time, relied on bureaucratic excellence and strategic governance. The earliest forms of rulership involved tight control and meticulous records. Scribes, trained from an early age in the arts of record-keeping, documented trades, and kept detailed logs of imports and exports that moved through their bustling ports. These records were crucial in managing the vast arrays of resources that the Crystal Empires needed to function. Governance often focused on incentivizing skilled craftsmen and securing supply lines for raw materials necessary for glass production. Elaborate guild systems emerged, helping manage the supply of soda, lime, and silica essential in glassmaking. The guilds ensured knowledge shared was controlled and spread efficiently, nurturing countless generations of skilled artisans. The empires crafted their policies not on the illusion of indestructibility, but on unmatched diplomacy. Wherever the trading routes of the Crystal Empires brushed against borders and territories, recognition of sovereignty ensured peace prevailed. Strategic marriages and alliances across regions cultivated a network of supportive neighbors. From Phoenician sailors to Roman bureaucrats, each alliance was a thread binding regions in a fabric of mutual economic gain and understanding. Security took the shape not just in military terms, but in economic alliances and the shared understanding that glass trade enriched all. The coastal cities of Sidon and Tyre became renowned for their shipbuilding prowess, yet their defenses were strengthened more through treaties and trade agreements than fortifications. This facilitated the flow of glass unimpeded, raising stakes and lowering chances for conflict. Moreover, stability wasn't merely about external alliances. Internally, emperors and kings prioritized the welfare of their citizens through responsible governance. The availability of glass-blown wares became a symbol of the stability that traders and common folk alike enjoyed, an emblematic reflection of the leadership's focus on improving the quality of daily living. Festivals often underlined this stable peace, where marketplaces overflowed with glass, celebrating craftsmanship, and fostered community well-being. Public investments soared into infrastructure that supported these gatherings and exchanges, roads, ports, temples, and markets, transforming cities into centers of vibrant human activity. The mindset of divinity was often interwoven into governance. Rulers claimed divine sanction, reinforcing a social order that benefited from seeming humility before the cosmos. Communication between these leaders and their deities was critical, binding their authority in a sacred duty to uphold justice and prosperity. With such a deft hand to rule, the Crystal Empire's ability to balance complexities with simplicity bore fruit in enduring civil achievements. As much as they were skilled in the business of trade, so too were they adept in the art of peace. In the twilight fades upon the flicker of lamps held within glass spheres, and temples cease their reverberations as prayers blend with the evening wind. We step away from the governance that once sat its architects on thrones of sand and splendor, tracing paths to newer horizons of this endless tale. As we continue, we shall see how these solidified structures began to crack, leading way to new eras of upheaval and change, still guided by the allure of the ever-glowing glass. In the ancient world, the exchange of goods was more than just commerce. It was a meeting of cultures, a mingling of ideas, and a sharing of wealth. As we delve into the tributes that flowed along the trade routes of the Crystal Empires, we find a rich tapestry not of goods merely traded, but of cultural currents that moved with them. Glass, already celebrated for its beauty and utility, was among the most prized of these goods. Merchants from Egypt, Mesopotamia, and beyond understood its worth, transporting this delicate commodity across land and sea. As they reached destinations further afield, the sparkling cargo captured imaginations and inspired admiration. For every successful transaction, there was a tale of cultural exchange, as glass items were not just items of trade but symbols of status and taste. A glass goblet might find its way to a Roman villa, where it would be prized for its clarity and finely wrought design. At the same time, a Roman mosaic could travel eastward, its techniques and motifs offering inspiration to Persian artisans. The goods traded along these routes were diverse. Spices, too, navigated these pathways, their allure not just in their flavor but in their ability to signify wealth and sophistication. Textiles, vivid and varied, moved in the opposite direction, their dyes and weavings telling stories of the lands from which they came. Through glass items, these goods gained a new context, adding to their allure and demand. Traders were key to this cultural interweaving. They were more than just merchants. They were storytellers and ambassadors, often bringing with them the tales of their travels, sharing the influences of distant shores with captivated listeners. Through these intermediaries, an Italian villa could adopt Egyptian influences, reflected in their home decor and artifacts. Similarly, Greek architectural styles found echoes in the stone constructions of Carthage, trading more than stone for glass. The exchange went beyond the aesthetic. philosophies and scientific ideas traveled similarly, as scholars met to discuss matters under the very roofs adorned with traded glass lights. Mathematics from India, philosophy from Greece, and astronomy from Persia traveled with these commodities, allowing an unprecedented exchange of knowledge that laid the groundwork for future advances across the world. As these networks grew, so too did the wealth of those who controlled them. The rise of cities such as Alexandria and Venice was a testament to the prosperity that could arise from the mastery of trade networks. These cities became cultural melting pots, marked by the mingling of languages, customs, and traditions, encapsulating the best of their time's globalized world. Each piece of trade, every hand that exchanged goods, contributed to this grand mosaic of ancient culture known as the Crystal Empires. What began as a quest for economic prosperity became a formidable engine of cultural enrichment and innovation. As wealth flowed along these routes, so did change, leaving as glittering a mark on history as glass itself holds the light. With the draw of such prosperity, it's no surprise that the trade routes became arteries through which the empire's lifeblood flowed, influencing not just economics but the very essence of the cultures involved. These paths laid the groundwork for future empires to build even larger and more complex networks, setting the stage for expansion like never before. Trade was more than an economic endeavor. It was a bridge that carried societies from isolation to integration. The Crystal Empires, through their mastery of glass, brought light to civilizations across regions, leaving behind a legacy of connectivity, a precursor to the global culture we experience today. As we conclude this chapter on tributes of the trade, we prepare to explore how this connectivity started to lead to shifts in power and influence, transforming the world in ways we are still uncovering. In an age where horizons stretched endlessly, beckoning the brave and the curious, the voyages of discovery began. These were not mere quests for geographical expansion, but journeys that intertwined destinies through the crystalline allure of glass. Among the intrepid adventurers were merchants, visionaries who recognized that across the seas lay not just lands unknown, but opportunities unparalleled. As these voyagers set sail, they did so with boats brimful of goods, humanity's endeavors etched in the cargo they carried. Glass, a luminescent artifact, was one such precious cargo. Imagine the ancient mariners as they departed from the shores of the known world. Each journey they undertook was fraught with uncertainty, the sea's vastness both a friend and a foe. The merchants' vessels, while robust, were but fragile companions in the face of tempestuous waters. Yet the promise of trade and profit steeled their resolve, and the aroma of profit scented the wind. One of the key routes these adventurers ventured through was the Mediterranean, connecting established civilizations such as the Egyptian, Greek, and Phoenician. From the bustling ports of Alexandria, with its towering lighthouse guiding ships safely to shore, to the thriving marketplaces of ancient Rome, the Mediterranean was a sea of convergence. The merchants themselves were cultural emissaries, sharing stories of their homelands and absorbing the wonders of foreign lands. Through them, glass became a universal language, its artistry speaking to the shared sensibilities of aesthetics and utility. In many ways, they paved the pathways for cultural diffusion, spreading art forms as freely as they did their glasswares. Yet, it was not only trade over the seas that captured the imagination. Overland routes, too, were pivotal, with merchants braving the harsh terrains of the Silk Road, taking glass from the west to the distant east. These traders, bearing not just goods but tales, bridged distances that otherwise seemed insurmountable. As glass goods reached as far as the remote corners of Asia, a remarkable exchange ensued. Ideas, beliefs, and technologies, along with glass vessels, were shared, each journey adding layers to the intricate fabric of human civilization. A marvelous transformation occurred. The noble glass, once a symbol of wealth and divinity, now became an instrument of interconnectivity. Legend tells of the Phoenician navigators, revered for their bold explorations, sailing as far as the British Isles. Alongside the glass bead trade, they brought their knowledge of materials and artistic techniques, fundamentally influencing local craftsmanship. Roman merchants were instrumental too, leveraging their empire's vast network of roads and ships. They ensured the spread of glass and its associated technologies even beyond the empire's borders. Their innovations in glass-blowing techniques revolutionized production, democratizing access to glass goods and increasing their appeal. However, these expeditions were not without hardship. Sea storms and treacherous landscapes tested the mettle of these merchants. Yet their perseverance ensured that cultures across lands blossomed from the seeds of connectivity they sowed. As the chapters of maritime exploration unfurled, so did the web of connections. Each successful journey built upon the last, forming a complex network which became the backbone of the Crystal Empire's economic power. In retracing these voyages, one finds that beneath the trade lies an enduring legacy, a testament to human ambition and ingenuity. These seafaring journeys linked not just ports but people, building bridges of understanding and cooperation. As we chart a course away from these enchanted voyages, the enduring impact of these adventurers and merchants guides us onward. Our next step leads us further, into the realms where these delicate goods helped shape societal hierarchies and influence cultural transformations. Their journey does not end. It continues to evolve with each passing wave, ever guided by the light that glass brought into the world. As the shimmering glass trade spread across the ancient world, it did so in a landscape often divided by conflict, yet held together by delicate alliances. These lines drawn in the sands of time were not just abstract boundaries, but living, shifting arrangements that dictated the flow of goods, culture, and power. With each new era, as civilizations rose to prominence or fell into obscurity, the connections between them were governed by both war and peace, often braided together in the pursuit of prosperity. Phoenicia, with its well-documented history of seafaring trade, held a significant part in this narrative. Their strategic location along the eastern Mediterranean positioned them as the primary brokers of glass trade, actively cultivating alliances with powerful neighbors like Egypt and later, the Greek city-states. These relationships were born of necessity as well as mutual greed, as ruling classes across the lands took great interest in the wealth that such precious commodities could bring. Conflict often arose in tandem with these alliances, typically over territorial control and trade route dominance. The rise of the Greek city-states, for instance, set the stage for frequent skirmishes over strategic ports and access to maritime passages. Athens and Sparta, along with their allies, would vie for maritime supremacy, each understanding the economic boon offered by unrestricted control of glass trade routes. Despite these confrontations, Greek alliances were rarely permanent, shifting with the whims of political marriages, emerging city-states, and the relentless pressures of external threats. As the Roman juggernaut emerged, they introduced a new paradigm of power that both challenged and stabilized the ancient trade routes. Their expansive reach consolidated territories under a unified administration, but also led to conflicts as neighboring powers resisted Roman hegemony. Yet, it was during this period that the glass trade truly flourished, with Rome at its center. Trade blossomed not just due to the expanded peace within the empire, but also through the diplomatic relationships Rome forged with bordering nations. These diplomatic efforts were both subtle and grand. The Romans learned the art of appeasement, offering protection and trade benefits to smaller states, thereby securing their cooperation while effortlessly knitting a broader canvas of connections. This method prevented wars and encouraged collaborative construction of roads and seaports, further cementing the empire's role as a dominant trade broker. However, this peace was tenuous, riding on the edge of political flare-ups within and outside its borders. One famously tumultuous region was in the east, where the Roman-Persian hostilities periodically affected the Silk Road. Despite these tensions, glass trade persevered largely due to non-state actors, merchants who capitalized on temporary truces and less visible routes. These commercial diplomats acted almost as peacekeepers, understanding that their survival was as much a matter of shrewd negotiation as it was savvy trading. Similarly, along the African and Iberian coastlines, the Byzantine routes practiced a blend of peacekeeping, piracy, and trade, managing a delicate balance to maintain safe passage for ships laden with glass. Such pragmatic unions bore unique fruits: art and knowledge that one culture lacked, another provided, its transit cloaked in pragmatic politics. Each area of the globe drew lines, but few borders were carved in stone. Politics were as fluid as the sands themselves. It was this ambiguity that allowed the glass trade to thrive, weaving a complex web of interaction and interdependence that persisted despite conflict. These ancient battles and accords set the stage for future interactions, defining the geopolitical landscapes long after the last Roman glassmaker had extinguished his kiln. As we drift away from the twilight here, the interplay of human ambition and the mercurial nature of allegiances guide us further still. We have seen how the lines drawn by ancient hands shaped the seascape of commerce and diplomacy, and we now edge toward how these relationships transformed the social fabrics and identities of cultures intertwined by glass. As the glimmer of dawn fell across vast landscapes, a time for new beginnings arose, a renaissance of glass that created waves of cultural exchange. This era of cultural diffusion through glass was deeply intertwined with the Renaissance period, a time characterized by immense intellectual and artistic growth. In various parts of the world, glass wasn't merely an object to behold, but a bridge uniting disparate cultures and catalyzing shared advances. During this illustrious period, Venice stood at the epicenter of glass-making ingenuity. The island of Murano, just a stone's throw away, became synonymous with glass of unparalleled quality and beauty. Venetian artisans honed their craft, producing delicate glassware that sparkled with innovation. Such mastery was not confined to functional items alone. It extended to works of art that inspired and captivated, reflecting the diverse cultural intersections of the Renaissance. The Venetians closely guarded the secrets of their glassmaking techniques, understanding the immense value these brought to their republic. These methods were shared only with chosen outsiders, spreading slowly across the European continent. The artisans of Venice were formidable cultural emissaries, indirectly sparking new artistic movements across countries. Patterns and styles seen in Venetian glass soon appeared in the stained glass windows of cathedrals throughout Europe, each hue and shape recounting tales from the Holy Land, as well as legends of their own. Beyond Europe, the emergence of glass coincided with expanded trade networks. A rich exchange occurred between the Italian merchants and their counterparts within the Byzantine Empire, where glass had long found favor for its potential in creating intricate mosaics and architectural feats. The Byzantine artisans cherished this inflow of new materials, which allowed them to blend Italian techniques with their rich tradition of artistry. In the East, the Islamic Golden Age provided fertile ground for glass innovation and trade expansion. Glassmakers in regions like Syria and Egypt began to incorporate mesmerizing patterns into their pieces, infusing everyday items with unmatched beauty. These wares bore motifs from various cultures, demonstrating how glass could narrate stories through its design. The Islamic world, with its mathematicians and alchemists, further pushed the boundaries of glass production, seeking formulas to enhance its clarity and strength, a pursuit that would resonate well beyond its borders. With these flourishes of glass production, the cultural exchange was not just confined to artisans. It also soared into the realms of science and literature. The ability to produce early optical lenses, a product of the refined glass techniques, ushered in advances in astronomy across civilizations. Astronomers like Galileo would later take great strides using telescopes, providing humanity with profound insights into the cosmos. This period also witnessed the early development of the microscope, attributed to lens makers in the Netherlands. Through these tools, the invisible became visible, awakening scientific curiosity and leading to breakthrough discoveries that would shape fields as varied as biology and chemistry. As glass trade expanded, it facilitated intellectual exchanges between merchants and artisans from diverse regions. The free movement of these individuals across regions fed the reservoirs of knowledge that led to new inventions, ideas, and cultural robustness. In no small part, glass was both the window and the mirror of human potential. Therefore, in this tapestry of interconnected societies, the rise of glass in this cultural renaissance was a beacon for illuminating shared human ambitions. As traders and artisans broke new grounds of interaction across vast lands, they laid the groundwork for the modern world, where glass continues to shine as an embodiment of innovation and interconnectedness. From this slice of history, we tend toward horizons where technologies converge more intensely, leading us to the currents of modernity, where these early exchanges craft futures unforeseen. In the ancient world, amid the sweeping changes of empires and the establishment of expansive trade networks, conflicts over resources were often inevitable. As the demand for glass and its associated trade increased, so too did the struggles to control the essential materials required for its production. These wars of attrition over resources shaped the dynamics of ancient economics and power. Control over raw materials was crucial. Sand, soda ash, and lime were the primary ingredients needed for glassmaking, and regions rich in these resources became focal points of contention. River deltas, particularly those of the Nile and the Tigris-Euphrates, provided not only the sand but also the means to transport it, making them highly strategic locations. As civilizations grew aware of the wealth glass could generate, the need to secure these resources intensified. Around 1000 BC, the Egyptians and Mesopotamians, pioneers in glassmaking, found themselves in frequent conflicts with neighboring territories. The Nile Delta, with its abundant resources, became a hotspot for skirmishes. Control over these territories meant dominance in the lucrative glass trade. Armies were dispatched not just to battle for land, but to ensure the steady flow of resources necessary to fuel this burgeoning industry. These conflicts were not only about territorial control, but also economic supremacy. As the practice of glassmaking spread through the Phoenician networks, securing maritime trade routes became equally pivotal. Phoenician city-states, with their reliance on maritime prowess, often clashed with Greek city-states over control of the Mediterranean routes. Their seafaring dominance enabled them to procure essential glassmaking materials from as far as the Atlantic coasts and even the distant lands of North Africa. This rivalry eventually contributed to the near-constant state of war among these Mediterranean powers. The Greeks, understanding the wealth that could be amassed through glass trade, were eager to carve their share of influence. The Persian Wars and later the Peloponnesian War, while primarily about land-based power struggles, also saw underlying tensions fueled by the resources that traded glass brought. By the time Roman influence expanded, the approach towards resource conflicts diversified. The Romans, known for their pragmatic strategies, often relied on a blend of military strength and diplomacy. They secured territories rich in resources through both conquest and alliance building, mitigating outright conflict by integrating conquered peoples into their resource supply chains. This approach allowed for a consistent flow of glassmaking materials, stabilizing their control over the glass trade. As the Roman Empire stabilized large swathes of Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia, they faced fewer direct conflicts over immediate resources. Instead, their challenge lay in maintaining their vast supply lines. To ensure a smooth flow of materials like the soda ash from Egypt and sand from the Rhineland, the Romans constructed extensive roads and shipping routes. These infrastructure developments were as much about economic stability as they were about military logistics. The conflicts over resources thus transitioned into battles of economic influence, ensuring dominance not through direct confrontation, but through the ability to control and distribute materials efficiently across the empire's vast geographical expanse. In this era, we see the evolution of conflicts from direct military engagement to strategic economic control, a shift that reflects the growing complexities of ancient commerce. The wars of attrition over resources were, in fact, battles for control of trade networks, the arteries through which the lifeblood of empires flowed. As we move forward from this period marked by strife and strategy, future chapters will explore how these conflicts catalyzed shifts in power dynamics, influencing the rise and fall of civilizations anchored by the shimmering promise of the glass trade. As time moved forward and the crystal empires basked in the glow of their luminescent trades, a subtle transformation began to take place. Prosperity, when unguarded, can sow seeds not just of growth, but of complacency and decay. Slowly, cracks began to appear across the carefully crafted facade of these great empires, cracks that heralded their decline and eventual disintegration. The steady rise that had once been fed by innovation, trade alliances, and cultural exchanges now faced the relentless currents of change. Internal strife began to take root alongside external pressures. Illusory stability was marred by factors the rulers of these empires were slow to adapt to. The once vibrant trade circuits, lined with glassworks and prosperity, found themselves tangled amidst competition and mismanagement. Internally, the burgeoning weight of bureaucracy encumbered the agility that had once defined the empires. As trade routes expanded, the once simple systems of governance grew unwieldy. Rivals, both within and beyond their borders, exploited this lethargy. Corruption seeped into the pores of institutions, dulling their effectiveness. The halls that once celebrated commercial triumph echoed with politics that overshadowed practical governance. In regions like Phoenicia and later Roman-dominated areas, fractures in social cohesion arose. Over-reliance on slave labor meant a stagnant lower class, tethered to systems offering little incentive for upward movement. This social immobility fanned the flames of discontent. In turn, it gradually weakened the backbone of these trade-based societies. Economically, as the boundaries of the known world expanded, alternate trade routes emerged, bypassing the need for these empires' strict control. Merchants seeking faster, less taxed pathways explored more direct lines to exotic markets, establishing new links that rendered old ones obsolete. These shifts destabilized the empire's economic foundations, as revenues from taxation saw a decline. Externally, newer powers began to rise, equipped with the learnings of their predecessors and the ambition to carve out their own domains. The Greek city-states, having refined their methods, grew to challenge Phoenician supremacy. Meanwhile, the force of Roman unification and expansion soon overshadowed the individual brilliance of these older domains. Continued military campaigns strained resources. The delicate balance of diplomacy and supremacy could not hold as empires like Rome directed energies to maintain distant fronts. The ongoing need to defend expansive borders diverted focus from innovation and commerce to pure survival. Wars dragged on, often costly, consuming valuable manpower and materials that could otherwise support the trade infrastructure. Even climatic shifts and natural disasters played their parts. Changes in temperature affected agricultural stability, leading to famines that further strained resources and morale. Once fertile lands struggled under altered conditions, leading to migrations and the eventual abandonment of major cities. Culturally, as the empires struggled to maintain their legacies, innovation in glass, once the leading edge of empire distinction, began to stutter. The spread of glassmaking technology meant that newer players no longer needed to rely exclusively on older powers. Local artisans in distant lands now replicated and innovated upon these techniques, loosening the grip of previous monopolies. As we witness the slow, inevitable decline of these once great crystal empires, we see the echoes of their grandeur persist in diminished legacy. They had sown a vast interconnected web that cradled the beginnings of something larger, poised to continue past the haze of turmoil. As once luminous ports dimmed, they set the stage for new power structures, for transformation born from the endurance of human connectivity. While the descent marked an end, it also heralded new beginnings. As these cracks widened, giving way to new pathways, we prepare to explore how emerging powers would pick up the glinting shards, crafting them into their own visions of future prosperity, further ensuring the eternal endurance of allure within the human story. In the quiet corners where history lies buried, archaeologists work tirelessly to uncover the stories of lost civilizations, each artifact a whisper from the past. Vestiges of the Crystal Empires, known for their exquisite glass trade, are found not just in written records, but in the shards and remnants that survive the ages. This chapter delves into the painstaking efforts to reveal the secrets of these ancient trade routes and the glassmakers that once flourished. Archaeological endeavors to uncover the Crystal Empires have spanned decades, using both traditional methods and modern technology to unlock the past. Excavation sites across the Mediterranean reveal workshops where artisans perfected their craft, transforming raw materials into delicate glassware that traveled across the known world. Each shard tells a story, its color and composition offering clues to its origins. One fascinating discovery came from the sands of Egypt. Here, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a glass workshops, complete with furnaces and tools used by ancient craftsmen. These sites, often near sources of silica and soda, crucial ingredients in glassmaking, provide invaluable insights into the production techniques and the scale of operation. Analysis of these sites shows how innovation spread, with each region adapting techniques to suit local resources and tastes. Moreover, advanced technologies such as chemical analysis have allowed researchers to identify the composition of glass artifacts, tracing the movement of materials across continents. By examining isotopic signatures, scientists can pinpoint the origins of the sand and minerals used, mapping trade routes once thought lost to time. Such analyses reveal the interconnected web of trade that united disparate regions under the allure of glass. In the waters of the Mediterranean, divers have explored shipwrecks, long silent beneath the waves, their cargo holds packed with glassware destined for distant markets. These underwater time capsules preserve a snapshot of history, showcasing the types of products traded and their destinations. By studying wrecks like these, historians piece together the complex logistics of sea trade, understanding the vast networks that once thrived. On land, The remnants of trading hubs such as Tyre and Sidon offer further revelations. These ancient cities, home to thriving markets, reveal layers of cultural exchange as artifacts from Greece, Egypt, and beyond mingle in these discovery sites. Here, glass beads, vessels, and fragments have been unearthed, each bearing the distinct hallmarks of the craftsmen who made them. Such archaeological discoveries also provide insight into the daily lives of people within the Crystal Empires. The crafting of glass was not merely an economic venture, but a cultural keystone, seen in remnants of glass items found in homes and public spaces. Decorative glass pieces, once the pride of altars and gathering halls, speak of societies that valued beauty and craftsmanship. Unearthing the debris of ancient workshops reveals the methods of production, turning theories into tangible proof of skill and ingenuity. Kilns, tools, and discarded glass pieces are more than historical data. They are evidence of human innovation, revealing the process of creation and the evolution of techniques over centuries. While much is taken from these sites, even more remains to be discovered. Every dig holds the potential to change our understanding of these empires, each artifact a bridge between the past and the present. As archaeologists sift the soil of history, they bring to light messages from times long past, preserving the stories of human achievement for generations to come. As the pace of discovery continues, the lessons gleaned from these ancient vestiges inform our knowledge not just of how societies grew and flourished, but also how they communicated and collaborated. Their fragmented histories pieced together create a mosaic of the past, threading a narrative that reflects the timeless pursuit of beauty and connection. We move forward in our journey through time, considering how these endeavors of the present restore the glories and lessons of the past. As we delve deeper, we explore how these findings influence modern perceptions of trade, heritage, and the ever-present human desire to create and connect anew. In the present day, the echoes of ancient glass trade routes still reverberate, leaving enduring impressions on modern society. The Crystal Empire's ingenious development of trade networks has become a framework for understanding economic globalization, cultural diffusion, and innovation. These strands of history, like filaments of fine glass, have woven themselves into various aspects of our lives, reminding us of a time when glass connected and transformed civilizations. Modern glass production has roots deeply embedded in its ancient past, and today's industry owes much to the legacy of innovations birthed by these early artisans. The technology of glass blowing, refined over countless generations, continues to evolve, driven by both artistic inspiration and practical necessity. In factories around the world, glass production lines hum with activity, a direct lineage to those bygone workshops along Phoenician ports or Roman streets. While technological advancements have simplified the process considerably, making glass more accessible and versatile than ever, the aesthetic appeal and the utility of glass today owe much to historical breakthroughs. From window panes that invite sunlight into our homes, to the intricate designs of stained glass windows that adorn places of worship, the practical and decorative uses of glass showcase the continued celebration of one of humanity's early achievements. Particularly striking is the role of glass in modern science and technology. The delicate glass instruments used in laboratories, from test tubes to high-precision lenses and fiber optics, all trace their origins back to ancient innovation. These tools enable discoveries in fields as diverse as medicine, astronomy, and communications, underlining the timeless nature of glass as both a carrier of light and knowledge. The aesthetic influence of glass has also endured, embedded in art and architecture worldwide. Cities such as Venice remain renowned not only for their historical contributions to glassmaking, but also for their living traditions that attract artists and tourists alike. Glass art, whether functional or purely decorative, continues to captivate with the same luminance that inspired artisans thousands of years ago. The enduring legacy of the glass trade routes extends beyond the material itself. It encompasses the cultural exchanges and diplomatic ties that were formed. The connectivity established by ancient networks has evolved into today's intricate web of international relations. Modern trade agreements hinge on principles not dissimilar to those understood by the Phoenicians and Romans. Alliances and mutual benefit ensure prosperity. In a world where globalization sometimes faces criticism for cultural homogenization, the legacy of the Crystal Empires suggests another perspective. The exchange of glass was not merely transactional, it was transformative, enriching the cultural tapestry of each participating region. Today, the challenges of preserving unique cultural identities within a global landscape mirror the historical interplay between regional uniqueness and cross-cultural influence. As we reflect on this past, the dichotomy of permanence and fragility in glass serves as an apt metaphor for our current world, a reminder that while materials may transform, the thread of human ingenuity and connection is unbreakable. The modern reflections of ancient glass trades show us that these timeless lessons continue to shape our world, as we ponder the infinite possibilities of human collaboration into the future. From the shards of history, new patterns emerge and old threads find relevance anew in our ever-connected world. The radiant story of glass is woven throughout our present, a continuous reminder of the legacy we inherit and the path we still tread. In a world once dominated by the radiant allure of glass and the routes it traveled, there remains today a persistent legacy, an enduring tranquility that rests within the reflections of its history. The stories etched into these relics are not just memories of bygone empires, but serve as quiet whispers reminding us of humanity's continuous dialogue with craft, trade, and light, a dialogue that maintains its relevance in the modern age. In our closing exploration, we pause to reflect on how glass, a medium so delicate yet illustrious, continues to embody human connectivity across time and space. As ancient glassmakers labored over furnaces, shaping their vibrant arrays into forms both magical and mundane, they unknowingly laid the groundwork for a timeless narrative. This narrative spans cultures and centuries, ever-evolving yet grounded in the same pursuit of beauty and function. Imagine an artisan of yore, meticulously working to transform raw materials into the shimmering vessels coveted across continents. With each piece crafted, glass evolved from a mere luxury to a foundational element influencing art, architecture, and daily life. It became clear that through glass, civilizations could communicate, share, and blend, allowing ideas to flow freely along with the precious trade goods. The written records and archaeological evidence left by these glassmakers illustrate a diversity of styles and techniques adapted to cultural tastes, traded not only as objects of desire, but as vehicles of cultural exchange. From the vibrant blues favored in Egyptian palettes to the mirrored surfaces reflecting Roman refinement, every piece was a testament to the interconnectedness of these ancient peoples. As empires like Rome and its successors crafted laws and systems facilitating trade, glass became a symbol of prosperity and a catalyst for change. It illuminated not just homes and halls, but also the pathways of thought, linking different lands with shared knowledge and technology. Today, we understand that these ancient networks were more than the sum of their parts. They formed a mosaic of human experience, entangling the practical with the poetic. The pathways carved by merchants donning the mantle of explorers provided avenues not only for trade, but for philosophical and scientific exploration. Through them, regions distant in geography and culture became neighbors in spirit and progress. Modern archaeologists, uncovering fragments of this past, meticulously reconstruct this picture, each shard a fragment of our shared human narrative. Chemical analyses, isotopic mappings, and studies of trade patterns offer glimpses into the lives of those whose bright creations traversed deserts and seas. They remind us that what might have once been considered individual endeavors are, after all, part of a broader symphony of human ambition. In considering this delicate legacy, we too find a reminder of our current place in the journey of globalization. The same principles of shared benefit and cultural enrichment through trade underpin many of today's international endeavors. The shimmering glass of the ancients calls us to consider harmony in diversity, a critical lesson as we navigate the intersections of cultural identity and global integration. As we linger with these ancient whispers, the intricate dance of light through glass remains an emblem of the human ability to innovate and connect. Where once these vessels served to bind scattered peoples in commerce and culture, today's iterations remind us of our potential to weave futures that honor the passage of the past while embracing the infinite possibilities of tomorrow. This persistent tranquility in glass offers a continuity, a promise refracted through the ages, that while empires may rise and fall, the human spirit of creativity and connectivity endures.